Only one food to control. Blood sugar and change your life. Sounds almost too simple, right? Just one food. But trust me, sometimes the smallest things can make the biggest difference. I've seen hundreds, maybe even thousands of people walk into my clinic with the same look on their face, tired, low energy, constantly craving sugar, yet they had no idea why. And then the lab results came back with a cold answer: high blood sugar. The tricky thing about high blood sugar is it doesn't hurt right away. It's not like breaking a bone or having a heart attack that sends you straight to the ER. No, it creeps in quietly. Slowly, it makes your body resistant to insulin. Then comes prediabetes, and eventually type 2 diabetes, and by the time you realize it, it's already too late. But here's the good news, and I want you to listen carefully. You don't have to surrender. You don't need to starve yourself. You don't need to swallow 5 different pills every morning. Sometimes, all it takes is adding one thing into your diet at the right time, the right way, and your body will start to heal itself. And I'm going to share that with you in just a moment. But before we dive into the foods that lower blood sugar, if you care about your health, especially blood sugar control, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I make these videos specifically for you, and I don't want you to miss a single tip that could help you live longer, stronger, and happier. Oh, and just so I know you are still here with me, if you like this topic, type 1 in the comments. If you don't, type 0. I'm always ready to adjust so I can serve you better. All right, if you're still here with me, that tells me one thing: you haven't given up. You still believe that your body, even at 50, 60, or 70 years old, can recover. And you know what? I believe it too. So today, let me start with one simple food that has helped so many of my patients get their blood sugar under control. Some of them even stopped craving sugar after just a few weeks. That food is oats, whole grain oats. But wait before you roll your eyes and say, "Oh no, doctor, I can't eat that stuff. Let me explain." I get it. Not everyone likes the bland taste of oatmeal. But hear me out. Oats contain a powerful compound called beta-glucan. Don't worry, I'm not turning this into a chemistry lecture. All you need to know is this beta-glucan acts like a soft net inside your digestive system. It slows down how quickly sugar is absorbed into your blood. And what does that mean? It means your blood sugar doesn't spike up and crash down like a roller coaster anymore. No more sudden fatigue, no more feeling sleepy, no more going crazy for sugary snacks. Your blood sugar stays steadier and your mind stays calmer. I had a patient, Linda, 67 years old, from Texas. She told me, "David, I just can't stay away from my cookie cabinet. I eat, then I feel guilty." So I told her, let's try something different. Swap your white bread breakfast for a warm bowl of oatmeal with a little cinnamon and a few apple slices. 2 weeks later, she came back smiling, "I don't even crave cookies anymore. And strangely, my mind feels so much clearer." And here's the best part. Oats don't just help with blood sugar control. They also lower bad cholesterol, LDL, and protect your heart. And you know this, most diabetics aren't just dealing with high blood sugar. There's also heart disease lurking in the background. So why not eat one food that fights 2 enemies at once? You don't have to fall in love with oats on day 1. But try making it a morning ritual, like giving yourself a warm hug from the inside. Trust me, your body will understand, and it will thank you. All right, if oatmeal sounded a little too fancy for you, let me introduce something way more down-to-earth, cheap, easy to find, sitting in every grocery store across America. 2 cucumbers. Yes, you heard me right. That poor little thing that usually gets tossed onto a salad plate like a decoration, or sliced up and completely ignored. But listen, cucumbers are actually silent warriors when it comes to controlling blood sugar. Did you know cucumbers are over 90% water? But not just any boring water. This is water that cools your body, calms your blood sugar, and most importantly, keeps your mouth busy. I'm serious. Most diabetics don't eat because they're hungry. They eat because their mouth is bored. The fridge opens and closes like a 24/7 convenience store, And they tell me, David, I'm not hungry. I just need to chew something. Well, instead of chewing cookies or potato chips, chew cucumbers. Take a bite. Crunch, crunch, crunch. That's the sound of discipline, defeating temptation. And here's the best part. Cucumbers are basically 0 calories, but packed with soluble fiber that slows down sugar absorption in your bloodstream. So you're not just refreshing your body, you're filling your stomach and kicking sugar cravings out the door. I've got a patient named Carl, 72 years old. He told me I used to eat snacks every night before bed. Now my wife switched tactics. She puts a big bowl of sliced cucumbers right next to the TV. I chomp on them like a rabbit, and in the morning I feel so much lighter. And there's another benefit most people don't talk about. Cucumbers contain antioxidants that protect your pancreas. That tiny organ is working hard every day to release insulin for you. So eating cucumbers is like sending your pancreas on a mini vacation. So you see, to control blood sugar, you don't always need expensive superfoods or magical formulas. Sometimes all you need is a cucumber and a sharp knife. So tomorrow, if your mouth starts itching for a snack, don't reach for candy. Reach for the crunch, crunch, crunch. And your body will whisper, good choice. If you're still watching and finding this helpful, drop a #1 in the comments so I know you're here with me. If I had to choose one simple, honest food to say thank you to my body every morning, for me, it would be a free-range egg. Sounds ordinary, doesn't it? But sometimes it's the ordinary things that keep us alive the longest. Eggs aren't trendy like avocado toast or fancy smoothie bowls, but they're the food that kept our grandparents strong through some of the toughest times. And modern science has finally confirmed what older generations already knew. Eggs are a true gift for people struggling with blood sugar. Eggs are packed with high-quality protein. When you eat an egg in the morning, it keeps you fuller longer, gives you steady energy for hours, and most importantly, prevents those dangerous blood sugar spikes after meals. One of my patients once told me, David, I paid attention. The mornings I eat sweet bread, 2 hours later, I'm dizzy, irritated, and craving more food. But when I eat one boiled egg with a little bit of veggies, I'm calm and focused the whole morning. That's the power of protein. It doesn't just feed your muscles, it stabilizes your mood, keeps your mind sharp. And for anyone over 50, mental balance can be just as important as blood sugar levels. But free-range eggs have an extra bonus. They're rich in choline and omega-3s nutrients that support your liver, protect your heart, and improve your body's insulin response. And let me emphasize, choose free-range eggs whenever you can. Chickens that get to walk outside pecking the grass live naturally. They produce eggs with a different kind of energy. Not only are they more nutritious, but eating them simply feels right. You know you're nourishing your body with something clean, honest, and respectful. So tomorrow when you hold an egg in your hand, don't treat it like a side dish. Treat it like a small promise to your body, a promise that you still care, that you're still trying gently to manage your blood sugar, not with force, but with kindness. Because sometimes good health doesn't come from big dramatic decisions. It comes from quiet breakfasts and a perfectly cooked egg. If you ever thought that only humans know how to sacrifice for others, allow me to introduce you to the true heroes of nutrition fatty fish. Salmon, mackerel, sardines. The three fishy brothers with a noble mission. They die so you can live healthier. There's a reason every doctor keeps telling you to eat fish oil, omega-3, or fatty fish every week. They're not just repeating a script. These fish are truly bodyguards for your heart and your blood sugar. I like to joke with my patients. You've got two choices. Either eat fatty fish or you become the fatty. They laugh, but they get the message. Omega-3 works like a team of firefighters traveling through your body to put out inflammation, especially around your blood vessels and pancreas, the two places that suffer the most in people with type 2 diabetes. When inflammation goes down, insulin works better, your heart beats easier, and honestly, you even get less grumpy. One 68-year-old gentleman once told me, David, my wife forces me to eat sardines every morning. I hated the smell, but now my blood pressure's down. My circulation's better, and most importantly, she nags me less. I told him, see, omega-3 isn't just good for your heart, it's good for your marriage. Now, if you don't like the fishy taste, here's my trick. Bake some salmon with lemon and black pepper. It'll smell like a five-star restaurant. Too lazy to cook. Pop open a can of sardines, slice up some cucumber. Remember that lesson from earlier and boom, a meal that cleans your arteries while you chew. I know many diabetics who constantly worry about complications, blurry vision, numb feet, heart attacks. But believe me, you don't always need a stronger pill to protect yourself. Sometimes you just need a piece of fish twice a week. So next time you walk past the seafood aisle at the grocery store, don't turn away like you just saw your ex. Stop, smile, and whisper, I know you're good for me. Then take it home and let it do the rest. When I was a kid, I used to think tomatoes were just plate decorations. You know that little red slice sitting sadly on the side of your meal, just there for color, only to be pushed aside. But the longer I've worked in healthcare, the more I've realized some of the simplest foods are the ones hiding the greatest healing power. And tomatoes are one of those quiet heroes. Tomatoes aren't just juicy and refreshing, they're loaded with lycopene, a powerful natural anti-inflammatory that helps protect your blood vessels and your pancreas from silent damage. That's incredibly important if you're dealing with high blood sugar or type 2 diabetes. I often tell my patients, you may not always know what's happening inside your body, but lycopene does. It travels to the problem spots like a skilled repairman. But that's not all. Tomatoes also contain chromium, a mineral that helps your cells respond better to insulin, meaning glucose actually gets pulled into the cells and used for energy instead of floating around in your bloodstream, causing blood sugar spikes. One of my older patients once told me, I used to think of tomatoes as just a side dish. But ever since I started eating one ripe tomato every morning with a pinch of sea salt, I feel lighter. Not in a dramatic way, just a quiet feeling like I'm finally treating my body right. And honestly, that's the real purpose of healthy food. Not just to live longer, but to live more peacefully. Now, if you don't like eating tomatoes raw, try them cooked. In fact, lycopene is absorbed even better when tomatoes are cooked with a little olive oil. A warm bowl of tomato soup in the evening, or a few roasted slices with lunch sometimes, that isn't just food. It's your body being gently told you're safe. I've got you. So next time you see a tomato, don't just look at it as produce. See it as a reminder that your body still deserves love, even from the smallest things. If you're still watching and finding this helpful, drop a number 1 in the comments so I know you're here with me. Now, let's move on to food number 6. There are some foods that don't make noise. They don't show off. They don't appear in flashy commercials or trendy magazine covers, yet they quietly do the right thing for your body. White radish, or nabo as some people call it, is one of those humble heroes. It doesn't look impressive. It's not bright red like a tomato. It doesn't smell irresistible like grilled salmon. In fact, it might even be the most boring looking thing in your fridge. But sometimes the quietest foods are the ones that heal us the most deeply. White radish is incredibly low in calories, but rich in soluble fiber, the kind that slows down how fast glucose gets absorbed into your bloodstream. That means your blood sugar rises gently, not like a roller coaster that throws your mood all over the place. You don't eat it to feel stuffed. You eat it to feel at peace, knowing your body is being cared for softly, kindly. I remember once visiting an elderly couple. The wife made me a bowl of chicken bone soup with simmered white radish. She smiled and said, I don't know if this has any magic in it, but every time I eat it, I feel lighter in my stomach and calmer in my mind. And I smiled back and said, it is magic. Sometimes peace itself is the medicine. But that's not all. White radish also contains powerful antioxidants that help protect your cells from chronic inflammation, something people with diabetes face every single day. And even better, it feeds your gut microbiome, A happy gut means better digestion, stronger immunity, and yes, even a brighter mood. Because health isn't only about your blood tests or the numbers on your glucose meter. It's about waking up in the morning with a relaxed belly, a peaceful head, and being able to say, today, I feel okay. So if you're looking for a food that doesn't shout but stands by you, give white radish a space in your kitchen. You might be surprised to realize sometimes healing doesn't come from big changes. It comes from simple soups made with love, repeated day after day. If I had to choose one food that truly deserves the title of silent hero, in every kitchen I'd choose garlic. Garlic isn't pretty like fruit, it's not fancy like salmon, and it's certainly not sweet or charming. But have you noticed, when sickness creeps in, when the body feels weak, garlic is often the first thing people reach for. And that's been true for thousands of years. The secret lies in a powerful compound called allicin. The moment you crush or bite into a raw clove of garlic, allicin is activated like a special forces team rushing into your body. It helps stimulate the pancreas to produce insulin, reduces inflammation throughout the system, and protects vulnerable organs like the heart, kidneys, and eyes, the very places people with diabetes worry about most. I once met a gentleman in his 70s down in Texas. Every morning he'd chop up a small clove of garlic, mix it with honey, and swallow it. I jokingly asked, "Doesn't the smell bother you?" He smiled gently and said, "Better that than being bothered by disease." That answer stayed with me for a long time, because at that age, people aren't searching for flavor, they're searching for peace. Raw garlic isn't easy to eat, but to me, it's a daily reminder that taking care of our bodies isn't always about pleasing it. Sometimes it's about training it. One little clove a day may not cause dramatic changes overnight, but over time it can improve circulation, help insulin work more efficiently, and keep the heart beating strong and steady. If eating it straight is too intense, start small, crush it, let it sit for a few minutes to activate the allicin, then mix it into a salad or spread it on a slice of whole grain bread. What matters isn't how much you take, it's how long you stay consistent. Because real health doesn't come from one big decision. It comes from tiny choices, repeated faithfully day after day. And who knows, maybe that little clove of garlic you eat today will be the reason your heart keeps beating strong for many more years. Among all the fruits that support healthy blood sugar, mandarin oranges are one of nature's sweetest gifts, as long as you don't strip away their magic before eating them. I know many people who peel a mandarin until it's perfectly smooth, removing every last bit of that stringy white pith because they think it's annoying or tasteless. But ironically, the part most people throw away is the part that does the most good. That soft white pith is rich in pectin, a special type of soluble fiber that slows down how quickly sugar is absorbed into your bloodstream. Instead of causing a sudden blood sugar spike, it allows glucose to enter gradually, gently. In other words, pectin is the gatekeeper, making sure sugar doesn't rush in all at once. And when you eat a mandarin as a whole flesh and pith, you're telling your body, I won't make you work overtime anymore. On top of that, mandarins are packed with vitamin C, a natural anti-inflammatory that protects blood vessels, boosts immunity, and leaves your spirit feeling fresh and awake. I truly believe fruit doesn't just feed the body, it feeds the emotions. I once visited a 75-year-old woman living alone in Florida. She always had a basket of mandarins on her table. I asked her, "Why do you love them so much?" She smiled and said, "Because every time I peel one, its fragrance reminds me there's still something bright left in my day." That answer made me pause. It reminded me that staying healthy isn't just about taking medication or eating the right foods. Sometimes it's about giving your heart a reason to stay soft toward life. So the next time you want a healthy snack, skip the sugar-free cookies and processed bars. Pick up a ripe mandarin, peel it slowly, eat it with the pith, and eat it with gratitude. Because every segment isn't just carrying pectin. It isn't just carrying vitamin C. It's carrying a quiet reminder that you are taking care of yourself gently, intentionally, and with love. Some foods don't need flashy packaging or loud marketing campaigns. They don't trend on social media or appear in glossy magazine ads, yet they've quietly fed generations. Beans are one of those humble heroes. From frijoles manteca to frijoles fredino, people across Latin America eat them daily. Meanwhile, many in North America forget that beans are one of the most loyal bodyguards of blood sugar control. They're packed with plant-based protein, which keeps you full without triggering the same blood sugar surge you get from white bread or mashed potatoes. The soluble fiber inside beans acts like a natural filter, slowing down glucose absorption, so your blood sugar rises gently and steadily, no more roller coaster spikes and crashes. But what I love most about beans isn't just their nutrition. Beans are a food of connection. Think about it, people rarely eat beans alone. They show up in warm stews shared across a table, surrounded by conversation. A simple bowl of bean soup can turn an ordinary dinner into something slower, softer, filled with laughter. I once asked a 62-year-old patient, "How long have you been eating beans every day?" He chuckled and said, "Since I was a kid. My mama was poor, but there was always a pot of beans on the stove. Now doctors say beans are good for diabetes. I guess my mama was a doctor before doctors were." His words stopped me for a moment. Sometimes the things that heal us aren't rare or expensive. They're humble, familiar, and served with care. Maybe it's just a bowl of tender beans, a worn metal spoon, and a quiet moment reminding you that you are still being nourished both in body and in spirit. So if you're looking for an easy way to stabilize your blood sugar, stop searching for something complicated. Bring beans back to your table, not just as food, but as a reminder that good health often begins with the simplest things. And now we arrive at the final member of our list of foods so small, yet so powerful that scientists call it the locksmith of insulin. I'm talking about Ceylon cinnamon. Have you ever wondered why two people can eat the exact same meal, yet one person's blood sugar shoots up like a rocket, while the other stays relatively steady? The difference lies in insulin sensitivity, how well your cells open the door to let glucose in. And Ceylon cinnamon is like the little tool that helps unlock that door. I once had a patient named Linda, 67 years old. She told me, "David, I take my meds, I exercise. But every morning my fasting blood sugar still sits stubbornly above 150. So I asked her, 'Do you like coffee?' She laughed. 'I don't just like it, I exist because of it.' So we made a deal. I didn't take away her coffee. I simply asked her to sprinkle half a teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon into her cup every morning. It sounded almost like a joke, but after 3 weeks, her fasting blood sugar came down and stayed around 120 without increasing her medication. Science explains why cinnamon contains cinnamaldehyde and polyphenols, which help insulin work more efficiently, reducing post-meal blood sugar spikes, while also lowering bad LDL cholesterol. One of the biggest threats for people with diabetes or prediabetes. But here's what I love most about cinnamon, not just its biology, but its feeling. A pinch of cinnamon over oatmeal, a sprinkle in warm milk before bed. It doesn't just heal the body, it slows down life. I often tell my patients, let cinnamon heal not only your blood sugar, but your peace of mind. So imagine this, a cool morning, a quiet kitchen. You stir your cinnamon-scented drink and gently say to yourself, today I choose kindness toward my body. And that's the beauty of healing. Sometimes you don't need a revolution. Sometimes all it takes is a pinch of cinnamon. Now I want to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect, what's one thing you've learned so far, and what's one thing you plan to actually apply in your life? Share it. Because when we speak our decision out loud, we make it real. And when we share it with others, we inspire them to do the same. And once you've picked your favorite food to start with, I want to give you one more little secret, a simple habit so powerful that many doctors in the US call it the best over-the-counter medicine for diabetes. What is it? Just 10 to 15 minutes of light walking after each meal. Not jogging, not sweating, not fancy sneakers or gym membership. Just get up and move your feet from the couch to the yard, from the porch to the alley. Even walking in circles around the house while talking on the phone counts. Research shows that our muscles act like glucose vacuum cleaners. When you walk after a meal, your muscles pull glucose out of the bloodstream to use as energy, which helps prevent those scary post-meal blood sugar spikes that so many diabetics dread when they check their meter at night. I had a patient, Michael, 65 years old. He once told me, "David, I can't exercise. I hate gyms. I hate sweating." I laughed and said, "Then don't exercise. Just take a stroll after dinner. If it's boring, take your dog. If you don't have a dog, pretend you do and just walk." We laughed, but he did it. And after just 2 months of walking after dinner, his post-meal blood sugar dropped by 30 points with no medication changes. So if you think improving your health has to be painful, please erase that thought. Sometimes your body doesn't need a revolution. It just needs one step and then another. And once you're ready to take those steps after your meals, I want to share something with you that's even more important than food or movement. Sleep. I know at our age, sleep is no longer something we can simply choose to do. Many people tell me, "David, I want to sleep." But the moment I lie down, my mind starts thinking about tomorrow, about my kids, about bills, about everything and nothing. And then suddenly it's 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. You wake up tired eyes burning. You haven't even eaten yet, but your blood sugar is already high. Why does that happen? Because when you're sleep deprived or constantly stressed, your body produces a hormone called cortisol, the stress hormone. And cortisol is like the cousin of blood sugar. When one goes up, the other follows. Let me put it simply. You can eat perfectly, you can exercise daily, but if you lose sleep for just 3 nights, everything resets to zero. I once had a patient named Susan, 70 years old. She told me, "David, I don't understand why my blood sugar won't go down." "I'm doing everything you say," I asked. "How many hours do you sleep?" She laughed. "Sleep, I sleep by waiting for the sun to rise." So we worked on it. Deep breathing before bed, soft music, turning off the TV an hour earlier, no phone in bed. 3 weeks later, she came back, held my hand, and said, "David, I don't know how many points my blood sugar dropped. All I know is this morning I woke up smiling." So if you're watching this, I want you to ask yourself, have I ever treated my sleep with kindness, not just lying down, but allowing yourself to rest? Because sometimes healing doesn't start in the clinic. It starts on the pillow. So tonight before you sleep, breathe in slowly, breathe out gently, lay your burdens beside the bed, and tell yourself, "I've done enough for today. The rest can wait till tomorrow." And just like that, we've walked through a beautiful journey together, from simple foods to gentle steps after each meal to peaceful nights of sleep we once forgot to value. If you're still here watching till this very moment, let me say this, I'm proud of you because you didn't give up. You're still learning, still searching, still fighting, not just to live longer, but to live better. Please remember this. Health doesn't come from perfection. Health comes from small choices repeated daily. Choosing oatmeal instead of a sweet pastry at breakfast. Taking a short walk instead of sitting still after eating. Giving yourself a kind night of sleep instead of staying awake in worry. Those small things, if you stay consistent, will rewrite your future. And if this video helped you discover even one thing you can start today, then my mission is complete. Before you go, I have a small request. If this video was helpful, hit the like button, not for me, but to let YouTube know that health content like this deserves to reach more people. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so we can meet again every week, not just as doctor and patient, but as two friends walking the same journey. And if you know someone struggling with blood, sugar, diabetes, or simply tired of feeling unwell, send this video to them. It might be the gift they've been waiting for. Thank you for spending your valuable time here with me. I'm David Mitchell, and I firmly believe that no matter your age, your body can heal as long as you treat it with patience and kindness. I'll see you in the next video. And remember, just start with one small thing.